Hello everyone, hope all are doing good. So today we are going to study the 15th lesson, Transport and Communication. Transport and Communication. So children, what are modes of transport? So the different way by which goods or people are transported from one place to another is called modes of transport. So modes of transport you have studied. So what is modes of transport? The different ways by which goods or people are transported from one place to another is called modes of transport. And you know there are mainly three modes of transport. So there are mainly three modes of transport. We can also tell it as means of transport. So there are three means of transport or modes of transport. They are land transport, air transport and water transport. So there are mainly three modes of transport. They are land transport, air transport and water transport. So today here we are studying about animals as a means of transport. So you know that in olden days animals were used as modes of transport. So you know olden days animals were used as modes of transport, but nowadays also animals are used as transport, but it was more in olden days. So in olden days animals were used as transport, modes of transport. So animals like ox, horse, donkey, camel, elephant, etc. were used as means of transport. So animals like ox, horse, donkey, camel and elephant were used as means of transport. So ox are used for ploughing in the field. So you know that in olden days ox are used for ploughing in the field. Then it is also used for carrying loads. So ox are also used for carrying loads and it is also used to travel from one place to another. So ox are mainly used for ploughing in the field, for carrying loads, and to travel from one place to another we use the ox. Then horses are used for riding. So you know that oxes are used for riding. It is used for carrying loads and also to travel from one place to another. So horses, they are mainly used for riding, then used for carrying loads and to travel one place to another we used horse. And not only that, in olden days horses were used in the wars. So for the wars horses were used. So in the olden days horses were used in wars. So next is the donkey. So donkey is used for carrying loads and to transport from and used for transportation. So donkeys are also used for carrying loads and to for transportation. Next is the camel. Camel, you know, camel is called as the sheep of the desert, and camel are also used for carrying loads and people in the desert. So you know that camel you can see mainly in the desert area. So a camel is used for carrying loads and people in the desert. Next is the elephant. So you know that the biggest animal in the land is the elephant. So elephants are used for carrying loads, and in olden days elephants were used in war. So mainly elephants are used for carrying loads, and in olden days elephants were also used in wars. So next we will learn how people look after the animals which are used for transport, how people take care of these animals which are used for transport. So some of the points are, the first one is that animals need care and attention to keep them healthy. So the animals need care and attention. So you know that like humans, animals are also living beings. So animals also need care and attention. So care and attention should be given to the animals. So that is the first point. Second one is that provide them with healthy food. So we should provide them with healthy food. So animals should be provided with healthy food or good food. So next one is that provide comfortable shelter. So next one is the provide comfortable shelter. So comfortable shelter, a place to stay, should be provided to the animals. The fourth point is that veterinary care should be given to the animals. Veterinary care. The word veterinary care. So you have any health issues, where we will go? Yes, we will go to the doctor, isn't it? So same way, if animals is having any health issues, they will go to veterinary doctor. They will go to veterinary doctor. So who is veterinary doctor? The doctor who treat animals or birds. So doctors who treat animals or birds are called veterinary doctors. So veterinary care should be given to animals. So veterinary care means if any health issues are there or any diseases are there, animals should be taken to veterinary doctor. So veterinary doctor, who is veterinary doctor? Doctors who treat animals and birds are called veterinary doctor. So veterinary care should be given to the animals. So veterinary care should be given to the animals. And fifth point is that we should have sensitivity and love towards animals. So we should have sensitivity and love towards animals. So what do you mean by sensitivity? Sensitivity means understanding the feelings. So we should understand the feelings of animals also. So already I told you, like humans, animals are also living beings. So animals also will have feelings, or they will also have sensitivity. So we should understand their sensitivity and love towards. We should show love and sensitivity towards animals. So these are some of the points where we can show or we can take care of animals which is used for transport. So what are they? The first one is that animals need care and attention to keep them healthy. So we should provide them with care and attention. Next one is that provide them with healthy food. So healthy food should be given to them. Next one, provide comfortable shelters. A place to stay should be provided to them. Then veterinary care should be given to the animals. Veterinary care means if any health issues are there, if any diseases are, they should be taken to the veterinary doctor. So that is the meaning of veterinary. Next one, we should have sensitivity and love towards animals. So we should have sensitivity. What do you mean by sensitivity? Understanding the feelings. So we should understand the feelings of animals and we should show love towards them. So these are some of the ways by which we can care the animals. Care the animals which are used for transport. So this is about the modes of transport. So next we will study about communication. What are communication and means of communication? What is communication? So communication is simply the act of transferring information from one person to another. So what is communication? Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one person to another. So we are transferring information from one person to another. That is known as communication. That is known as communication. So you have studied about the different means of communication. So next we are going to study about means of communication. The first one is the letters. So letters is also a means of communications through writing that can be sent with the help of post office. So you know that nowadays it is very less. Letter writing is very less. So but in olden days letters were used more. So letter is also a means of communication through writing that can be sent with the help of post office. So we'll go to post office and send the letters. Next one is the telephone. The second one is the telephone. Second one is the telephone. So telephone is an instrument through which we can directly speak to other person at a distance. So telephone is also a means of communication, and telephone is an instrument through which we can directly speak to other person. So we can speak to other person at a distance. So whether they are at very long distance, we can talk to them. So that is the uses of telephone. So telephone is also a means of communication, and you know that nowadays telephones are very less. We are using mobiles. So nowadays mobiles are using more. Next, the third one is the newspaper. So third one is the newspaper. The third one is the newspaper. So newspaper is also a means of communication which publishes news from different parts of the country and world every day. So newspaper is also a means of communication which publishes news from different parts of the country and the world every day. So you know that we will get newspapers every day and we get news from different parts of the country and different parts of the world. So this is about the newspaper. The fourth one is the television. So television, the fourth one is the television. Television. So you know that television is also known as TV. So television is an attractive means of communication in which regional, national, international and cultural programs are telecasted. So television, also known as TV is a very attractive means of communication in which regional news will be there, national news, international news, then cultural programs are telecasted. Next, the fifth one is the radio. The fifth one is the radio. And you know that it is very less. Nowadays, radio using is very less. So, radio is also a means of communications in which regional, national and international news can be heard. So, through the radio, we can hear national, international and regional news can be heard. We can only hear through the radio. Next, the next one is the sixth one is the computer. The sixth one is the computer. So the very common thing. So computer, a wonderful means of communication used to get and send any information of the world within a very short time. So you know that computer are used nowadays. Computers we are using more. So computer is a wonderful means of communication used to get and send any information of the world within a very short time. So these are some of the means of communication. The first one is the letters, second one is the telephone, third one is the newspaper, fourth one is the television, the fifth one is the radio and the sixth one is the computer. So these are some of the means of communication. So there are some of the means that were used in olden days. So in olden days there were some means of communication. The first one is the pigeon. Pigeon, a bird, is used as means of communication. Then letters. So nowadays also letters are there, but it was more in the olden days. So letters were used as means of communication. Then telephone were there. Then one telegraph. So telegraph facilities were used in the olden days. Then radio. So radio was also used in the olden days. Nowadays also radios we are using. So next we will means of communication in the present day. So in present day, which are the means of communication. So you know mobiles are used as a means of communication. Then TVs are used as a means of communication. Then computer, still radios are used as means of communication. So means of communication in olden days were pigeons, the bird. Then letters were used as communication. Then telephone, telegraph, radio, etc. were used as means of communication in olden days. Then means of communication used in present days are mobile, TV, computers, radios, etc. are used as means of communication in present day. So these are the things which we have studied in the lesson transport and communication. So before winding up, we will just go for a quick recap. So first we have studied about modes of transport. So what are modes of transport? So the different ways by which goods or people are transported from one place to another is known as modes of transport. Then I told you there are three means of transport or three modes of transport. They are land transport, air transport and water transport. So in this lesson we are mainly studying about the animals as a means of transport. So you know that in olden days animals were used as modes of transport. So animals like ox, horse, donkey, camel, etc. were used as means of transport. Then we have studied how we can take care of this, how people take care of the animals which are used for transport. The first one is that animals need care and attention to keep them healthy. So animals should be provided care and attention. Next one, provide them with healthy food. So for healthy food should be provided to them. Then provide comfortable shelter. The proper facility for shelter should be provided to them. Then when veterinary care, so already I told you veterinary care, if any diseases are there, the animals should be treated to the veterinary doctor. So veterinary care should be provided to the animals. Then we should have sensitivity and love towards animals. So animals, we should give sensitivity and love to the animals. So these are some of the care that should be given to animals. Then we have studied about communication. So what is communication? Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one person to another. So we are transferring information from one person to another, that is known as communication. And there are different means of communication. The first one is the letters, second one is the telephone, third one is the newspaper, the fourth one is the television, then fifth one is radio, and the sixth one is computer. So these are some of the means of communication. Then we have studied about the means of communication used in olden days. In olden days, pigeons were letters, then telephone, telegraph, radio, etc. were used as means of communication. And in the present day, mobile, TV, computer, radio, etc. are used as means of communication. So that's all. See you next class. Thank you, children.